It's lovely. It's a new guitar. This is a fake unboxing as well. I mean, I've had this at home for over a week now and been playing it. It's not even the original box, I'll be honest with you. This is the same. This is the box that the Les Paul came in. What can it be? What is? Do you know what it is? Whatever we say about Gibson, there's something very, very special about buying a new Gibson. It's an illness. What is it, Cole? Shut up and open it. All right. Ready? Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So, got a new guitar to review this week. If you watch regularly, a couple of weeks ago I teased it in fact, you'll know what it is. At the moment it's in a box because at this point I haven't decided whether or not the thumbnail this week is going to be a box or a picture of a guitar. I'd prefer just to put a picture of the guitar on the thumbnail, but for some reason, if you put a box on there, loads more people click on it and watch it, which is kind of important to YouTubers, which is why you get so many weird thumbnails of, you know, question marks and people pulling funny faces. I'm not stooped to that yet, but boxes, yeah, I've kind of tried it and it does work. Unfortunately, YouTube's a bit like that. You know, all these guitar YouTubers we're all scrapping around. We're like rats, you know, scrapping around for views. Come on, you know, watch me, click me, and boxes do it. I don't know why. So, having said all that, I might not have put a box on the thumbnail this week because I'm trying not to do that sort of stuff. But you know, well, we'll have seen by now, won't we? And anyway, I've covered myself in case I did. And here's the box, which I'm now gonna unbox. I'm just gonna stop talking now, and I'm gonna unbox it and show you what it is. Here you go. Let's do it. This is a fake unboxing as well. I mean, I've had this at home for over a week now and been playing it a lot. But, you know, I've put it back in. It's not even the original box, I'll be honest with you. This is the same. This is the box that the Les Paul came in. Anyway, I'll shut up. Let's open the box. Here we go. Hard case. What can it be? What is? Do you know what it is? I'm going to have to put a box on the thumbnail now, aren't I? Having done all that. Do you know what it is? Gibson hard case. Whatever we say about Gibson, there's something very, very special about buying a new Gibson. It's an illness. Here we go. What is it? What is it, Cole? Shut up and open it. All right. Ready? Here we go. Oh. Here it is. It's the SG. It's the Gibson SG Standard 61 Faded. That's what they call it. Let's get the case out of the way and have a look. So here it is. Yeah, I got it. I got it a couple of days after I was talking about it in the Les Paul film. When at the end of that, I said, "New gas of the week." It was just 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Gas of the week. I'd seen this, and I said, "Oh my God, how can you do that?" You know, because I'd just spent over $2,000 on a Gibson Les Paul. And then all of a sudden, like within days, I saw this and I'm gassing for this as well. So it is a bit of an illness for me, honestly, it really is. So anyway, look, what I should say at this point is what I'm going to do is I'm going to review this today, a deep dive review, and we're going to talk a bit about it. We're going to talk a lot about it, obviously, and take it apart, you know, and do all the weights and measures and stuff. So Timestamps are in the description box because this will be a longer film. You know that. You know that if you've seen me before. Timestamps are in the description box. You can skip forward. You know, everything you want to know about this guitar is here in this film somewhere. So skip forward if you're in a bit of a hurry. If you're not, go and put the kettle on or get a beverage of your choice and some nibbles. I recommend some nibbles because it'll probably be 40, at least 40 minutes, this film, and you might get peckish in the middle. So go and do that, come back, and let's chill out and have a closer look at it. This is the 2023 Gibson SG. So let's get stuck in and have a close look, shall we? Yeah, let's do it. So this is the SG Standard Faded, and Gibson have put 61 in the title as well. 61 indicating that this is based on the 1961 version of the Gibson SG Standard, which of course has a lot of, well, if you know anything about SGs, you'll know the SG didn't actually exist in 1961. It was called the Les Paul. And the other difference will have been that it didn't have this style vibrola on it. This is the Maestro vibrola. And the 1961 Les Paul, or Les Paul SG, as people do call them, had the sideways vibrola, that one, the one that I'm pointing at. So there are a couple of differences, but, you know, Gibson do tend to, I don't know what they, you know, what I was going to say is they do it for marketing purposes. They obviously think that that's more appealing if they put 61 in the title than 63, which is, that's 63 basically. So they do that. They always do that. It doesn't make a lot of difference, of course, apart from the fact that it's historically incorrect. The good news, however, is that this version of the vibrola is a lot more stable than the earlier sideways one. So this is definitely the one to go for. So that's good. It's a bloody cool guitar, isn't it? So why did I get this? Well, two reasons. Okay, so first reason, we'll deal with the pricing. It was a bargain. It was 25% off. So these are listed on Gibson's website for 199, yeah, I wish, 1,999 English pounds or 2,199 US dollars, okay, which is it's a lot of spondoolies, isn't it, for an SG? It's enough to put most people off. However, I spotted one at 25% off in the UK, $14.99, and that was enough of a deal for me to go, hang on, it's time to get one, because I'd had my eye on this particular model for some time because it looks very similar to the Frank Zappa Roxy SG, which is a very rare and sought after by me, limited edition Frank Zappa tribute. That's what that looks like. That's what this looks like. They're bloody close. You know, Frank Zappa one, too expensive. Well, an unobtainium, actually. I was offered one a little while ago, but all the electronics had been messed with, so I didn't pull the trigger on it. So then when I saw this, I thought, I want one of them. And then when I saw one of these at 25% off, £1,499 I paid. From Cody Music in Stevenage. That was I showed you that shot a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? The street price in the UK at the moment is around about, well, you can get them for elsewhere from around about £1,600 to £1,700. So they're definitely trying to get shot of these, because I don't think people want to pay $2,000 for an SG. Well, I know they don't, because I didn't want to, and I love SGs. So here it is. It's a budget version of probably my holy grail guitar, the Zappa Roxy SG. It looks the part. I have picked up a couple of little mods to add to this today, just to bring it a little bit closer to that. But before we do that, should we have a closer look at it? Let's review it. We'll be playing it a bit. Well, we'll be playing it a lot, I think, today. I've been playing it a lot at home. I find it It's my happy place in SG. You know, I go for weeks on end, I go off on tangents of other things. And then when I get a chance to play an SG again for the channel for any time, I go, oh yeah, that's why. I love them. Right, let's get on with it. It's a mahogany body. It's is it two pieces? Can't. Do you know, I haven't looked, and it's I always find it difficult to tell in this light. I might have to tell you later. I think it's two pieces. I can't tell. No, it's not. It's one piece. Right, I'm going to say one piece, and I'm going to have a closer look when the main lights are on, because for some reason the reflections make it difficult. It's a one-piece mahogany body, unless I say otherwise later, and it's a one-piece mahogany there, apart from those little strips that they put on, you know, up at the headstock, of course. And the it's a 61 net. I mean, they call it a slim taper in the specs, but I think probably the one thing that brings this closer to a 61 spec is it's got a little bit of a wider nut on this. I think it's over 43. Or should we measure it now and put the profiling measurements up on the screen so you can see for yourselves? Yeah, here it is. Here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. So yeah, it's quite I like it. It's quite flat. It's quite flat. And wide. It's quite flat and wide. It feels quite flat and wide, but it's good. I like it. And of course the great thing about SGs is all the wonderful neck access. And what I'm going to do now, we're talking about necks, is talk about the elephant in the room, because everyone will be going in the comments. They'll be going, oh, but does it neck dive? Well, let's find out. It's just a normal strap. There's nothing fancy about it. My head will probably pop out of the frame in a minute, but oh, I'm sort of still in shot. If I walk back a little bit, you'll be able to see, won't you? There you go. Probably walked out of the light now. Does it neck dive? Oh, apparently not. I mean, that's just nothing. Look. Truth of the matter is, some SGs do. I think I've noticed mainly if they've got Grover tuners on, they're going to, because Grovers are a little bit heavy and thin necks, or fat necks. If they've got fat necks and Grover tuners, they're going to, because there is more weight up this end. This is pretty light. I'm going to weigh it in a second. Let's not get ahead of myself. But anyway, as you can see, this one doesn't. Okay, so don't use that as an excuse not to get an SG, because so many people ignore SGs because they've heard they neck dive. And it's the one thing everyone's, oh, does it? Oh, yeah, but what about the neck dive? Oh, you know, just try it. Just try it. Grovers and SGs don't go together so well. So, you know, that might be the thing to look out for. This one's got obviously the vintage Cluson style tuners on it, as you can see there, which are lightweight things, no problem, as I've demonstrated. So there you go. What else? Well, we'll take the strings off in a minute and we'll have a closer look at the frets and the binding and have a close-up look at that, at the QC, and how this one's come out, because they can be a bit variable. Before we do that, let's weigh it. Okay, here we go. 6 pounds, 15 ounces, or 3.16 kilos. It's a lovely weight. There you go. lovely rosewood fingerboard on this. Look, medium jumbo frets and nibs on these. So let's have a close-up look at the nibs and the binding there, and you'll see with the naked eye, I mean, you can see it's, you know, been hand finished, because obviously they have to file away the binding to create these nibs. So, you know, it's going to look a little bit gnarly. And some of these close-up pictures, I mean, they do make it look worse than it is. I'll be honest with you, they do, because, you know, it's you know, 4K. You know, the cameras are, they can see far better than we can. The binding on this, though, you can feel there is a bit of a ridge all the way along. There's a ridge all the way along there, and it's pretty raw, isn't it? Look at that bit there, bit raw, way that's been finished. And on the other side, again, it's much of the same. So, however they scrape that off, it's definitely been done by hand, isn't it? That's what we can say. You know, it adds to that. I've said this before, handmade sense that they're to a degree handmade, which they are, of course. It's got a Graphtec nut, and that looks nice. I had mentioned this in the Les Paul review a couple of weeks ago, that they seem to have changed, improved their nuts. They definitely have. This you can see from this one, and I've been playing this all week. No tuning instability issues whatsoever. That's the other thing that people say about SGs. You know, does it neck dive? Does it stay in tune? All guitars can have a problem with tuning stability. Gibson's more than others because of the headstock angle and the string break angle. But if the nut's cut properly, it won't be an issue. And I should also say that although they call this faded, it's not like the old faded series that they used to do. They didn't have binding and they didn't have proper inlaid logos. They had stencils or whatever. The only thing that's faded about this is the paintwork. It is satin nitrocellulose paintwork, so rather than gloss. That's the only difference between this and the gloss series, I suppose. Apart from this has also got uncovered pickups, which I rather like. I think we can actually move on now to the pickups. These are 61 burst buckers. So let's take some readings from these, and then what we'll do is we'll pop them up and have a look underneath. Here we go. So the bridge reads 7.73K. I'm going to make a note of these. I'll tell you why in a minute. The inductance of that is 3.95 Henrys. And then the neck, 7.83. And the inductance of that is 3.91 Henrys. So they're fairly similar. Let's just have a quick look at the middle reading. 3.89 just because we can. Now the reason I wanted to make a note of this, because these are burst buckers, but they call them 61 burst buckers. So I wanted to try and identify what the difference is between these and normal burst buckers. For instance, the burst bucker 1 and the burst bucker 2 in the Les Paul that I reviewed just a couple of weeks ago. So I've made a note of the readings. These are, well, they're different. I'll tell you what, let me put both sets of readings up on the screen now so you can see for yourself. There are some differences. I'm not going to need to talk you through those. You can see for yourselves. That's what the differences are between 61 burst buckers and burst bucker 1 and the burst bucker 2. Which is interesting if you're into pickup readings, that is. Now, before we pop the pickups up, I'm going to try and remove this wiggle arm. Probably a good way of doing it, actually removing that from there first. As you can see, that literally, I think, just slides on to that. Yeah, it just slides on. Because I got this, the flat wiggle bar, like on the Zappa Roxy one, so I'm going to put this on. There you go. I'm going to have to fine tune that before I put the strings on, because I need to probably put it on a different setting. But there you go. I like that. Let's take that off for now. Here we go. Rhythm. There you go. Not also a long neck. Well, the neck tenon goes down to there, as you can see, and it says SG 61 BF. I would guess that F means faded, but don't know about the other bit. And AY, don't know. A. There you go. Anyway, that's what it looks like under the pickups. Like burst buckers, it's got the pattern applied for sticker on. This one says Rhythm 61, and that was the 22nd of July 22. And then on the lead 61, there you go, 22nd, same date. There you go. That's them. Pop them back. And inside the control cavity, you've got Gibson branded CTS pots, I think they are, aren't they? Orange drop capacitors. There you go. That's what that looks like. I think that's it. Before I put the strings on, there's one more thing I have to do. I'm going to spoon my knobs off. I've got some witch hats to put on. This is what I mean. Was there enough room? Gently spoon my knobs off. I'll check they fit first. They're Imperial. You need to check. Imperial for USA made, metric for anywhere else, I think. Okay. Oh, it's a bit loose. So I just did that and it works. See if this one's the same. Yeah, a bit loose. So what all I did there is, hope you can see this, I'm just opening it up a little bit with a screwdriver. Still a little bit. There you go. These are what they call top hat reflector knobs, by the way. Top hat reflectors, obviously, because they've got a shiny bit at the top. And these would have been correct for 1961. The witch hats were later 60s edition. There you go. I'll adjust my wiggle bar to suit, and then I'll have my own budget Roxy. Right, let's put strings back on, do all that, plug it in and see what it sounds like. See you in a minute. Sounds nice unplugged, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, same rig as always, Princeton 65. I won't be using any pedals to start with. If I do, I'll show you. On the board today, we do have the Soul Food, the Rat, and a little bit of wah wah that I might use later in honour of Frank. So, but yeah, to start with, no pedals at all. So, this is what it sounds like, yeah. These pickups, I've been having a little fiddle, obviously. I've been having a little play, I should say. These pickups are, yeah, you know, pushing quite hard. So I've just dialed them back to 8 to start with. This is the treble pickup. Even there, it wants to go. You can hear that. Next, pretty much the same really. Dialed off a bit. 8, yeah, it wants to break away. So actually, right back to 6, you've got. That's where it's clean. Put them on together. As you can see already, volume control's working great. Let's put a loop down. Yeah, so the the controls work really well. Let's see if the tones work. That's nice. I sound surprised because there's no pedals on at all. That's just. Lovely. Stop it. That's it. That's compressor, rat, soul food, and wah wah. Back to normal. It's occurred to me that I don't very often demo guitars with high gain, do I? I'm not really a, you know, but then everybody else does that. So I think that's probably all right, isn't it? Normally I'm clean to crunch, and obviously there you had quite a lot of fuzz or mucking around with some fuzz and stuff. But high gain, I mean, clearly this guitar will do high gain all day long. And all night long, yeah, all night long. It'll do Angus. Stick a treble booster on it even, you know, you don't need drive pedals, just give it a little bit more and it'll really, you can push it over the cliff. That's the saying, isn't it? So, but yeah, for me, I like that kind of breakup. This is great. I love these pickups because they're pushing quite hard, as I said earlier. Yeah, a lot of fun and clean up really well. These controls work beautifully. They really do. I'm loving this guitar. I bonded with it very quickly. Well, hopefully you can tell, but I'm at home with an SG. So I think I've decided I'm going to stick a picture of a box on the thumbnail. Maybe a sneaky little peek of the guitar as well without... I mean, I'm probably going to put in the title Gibson SG standard review anyway. So it's not as if it's a big mystery. It's just that initial visual thing that, you know, for some reason, a box, it tends to make people click on it more. It's a thing. It's really a thing. I mean, well, you know, clickbait's a thing. Thumbnails are a big thing, a massive thing, stupidly important. You know, it doesn't matter what I do in the film. If the thumbnail is a bit shit, no, I get a lot fewer clicks. I mean, I still get loads of clicks. Obviously, all you guys that are still watching at this point, you know, some 40 minutes into the film. I mean, I know you click anyway, but it's the others, you know, to help the channel grow. I need new people coming in as well, clicking, because I want to be, you know, I want to be able to do whatever I want on the thumbnail and whatever I want in the film without having to worry about it. And I'm not quite in that comfort zone yet. I've got a little bit of a way to go. My views at the moment, okay, so like last week wasn't really a very clickable thumbnail. At the moment, I've had about, I'm not complaining, by the way, I've had about 15,000 views, which is really fantastic. So I'm not complaining. But if you check maybe the week before or something that's, yeah, the week before where I had a box on it, I've about 40,000 views. That's the difference. Stick a box on the cover. Hey, 40K, you're away. We'll see if that happens this week, shall we? Anyway, back to the guitar, shall we? The guitar. So, oh yeah, that was the point. Because I think I'm going to put on the thumbnail something like, still my number one? Question mark. Is the SG still my number one? Because I've been dabbling with other guitars lately, haven't I? You know, Les Pauls and mainly Les Pauls, I think. But nice to come back to SGs. Absolutely my favourite guitar of all time. There's just so much about SGs to love. I think they're the coolest looking guitars ever. Played by some fabulously cool people, including Frank Zappa. They're lightweight. They sound great. And if you want to play above the 15th fret, it's really not a problem. There you go. The SG, my number one. And I'm really happy with this. This is a great guitar. And the price that I got it for, you know, well, 25% off, shall we say, makes it feel like I got a bargain, actually, or like I got something good. You know, it's difficult with some Gibsons and lots of Epiphones now because you just got this feeling that they're overpriced for what they are. And I don't get that feeling about this. I think, oh, good, I got a good guitar at the right price, and I've saved myself thousands by doing my own Roxy tribute. The Roxy has got obviously out of phase switching and stuff. A couple of switches there. I'm not going to bother with all of that because switching I don't really use anyway, so this is fine as it is now. I'm going to play it a lot. You can see, actually, I mean, I've been playing this quite a lot. It's cut some dings already. Got a couple of little scratches I noticed when I was watching the playback there. A couple of little scratches. Obviously, this is a faded finish, so it's not very tough at all. It will mark up. It'll become your own aged guitar very quickly, which I like, as you might know if you watch this channel regularly. There you go. That was the Gibson SG Standard Faded 61, apparently. It's lovely. Let me know what you think in the comments section, please. And yeah, if you've had your eye on one of these, I think now's the time, because I think there's a lot of stock to get cleared before whatever Gibson have got coming next comes out. I don't think these were Well, I think these were overpriced. I think that's the simple truth of the matter. They were overpriced. I think people are still suspicious of the Maestro. I don't think I even used it in the film here, and I won't use it very much. But it's a lovely aesthetic thing, isn't it? It looks the part, this, and there's no problem with tuning. You know, if you do a little bit of soft warbling, you'll be fine. If you leave it alone, you'll be even better. But it looks the bollocks, doesn't it? I'm going to go home now and play this. So thanks for watching. I hope that's been a diversion from whatever else you could have been doing. Thanks for supporting the channel. Always appreciated. Don't forget to check out the TV channel if you want extras. No extra content on here this week, but over on the TV channel, there's the link. There's always extra stuff. I put lots of the jams in a series called Steal My Licks. So loads of the jams isolated there. Some extra series as well. And I'm still working on my Joe Strummer Telecaster. Sorry, Esquire build at the moment. Nearly finished that. That's all over on TV channel, exclusive. So if you can bear any more of me, check that out. 30 days free. And that supports everything that I do here on YouTube as well. So if I don't get 40,000 clicks a week, I can still afford to buy guitars. So wherever you watch, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Come back next week and see what we're up to then. Here, same time, same place. I look forward to it. Cheers for now. Ta-da.